Alright then, so it's time to start playing around with React. Now, like I said before, there's two main ways we can use React. We can either use it to build and power an entire website, or we can just drop it into an existing HTML page to just use React in that page to control a specific section of it. Now, to begin with, I'll be showing you how to use React this second way, because it means we can get started learning the basics much quicker and easier, because we won't have to get bogged down with all of the setup of a full React site. But then in the next chapter, once you've learnt these basics, we'll be switching to use React to create those full websites. So to begin with, I'm going to create a simple HTML page in VS Code called index.html. And then to boilerplate this new HTML document, I can just type doc and then hit tab. And this creates a head for me and an empty body tag. Now, inside the body, we'll just do an H1. And inside that, we'll say something like my website, very original. And then below that, we'll do a div with an ID of banner. And by the way, in VS Code, you can make a tag with a class or ID by writing the tag name, and then for an ID, I'd say hash, and then the ID name, and then I would hit tab, and it will create that tag for you with that ID. And it's the same for elements with a class as well. You can just type out the tag name, then a dot for the class, then whatever the class name is, and then just hit tab, and it creates it for you. So I'll be doing this throughout the course. Anyway, this is going to be the section right here of the website that I want React to ultimately control. Below that div, I'm going to also create a footer, and inside that, I'm going to create a paragraph tag, and we'll just say something like footer inside that. Again, very original. All right, so the next thing I want to do is preview this in a browser. To do that, I'll be using an extension that you can install for VS Code called Live Server. And again, you can install that by going to the Extensions tab over here and searching for Live Server at the top. Then when you find it, it's this package right here. You just need to click the install button. All right, so once you've done that, we can go to any HTML page. You can right click it and then choose Open with Live Server. And that's going to spin up a local development server for us to preview the web page on. And it should automatically open up in a browser for you. So it should be this address at the top, localhost, then a port number. In my case, it's 3000. And this is what our web page looks like. Terrible. But I'm not here to teach you about design, fortunately, so we'll leave it that way for now. Now, if we ever make a change to our HTML code and hit save, the local dev server is automatically going to reload the browser to catch those changes. Alright then, so next up we need to load React into our existing web page. Now to do that, we'll be using a CDN, a content delivery network, which just means we're loading the library from the web. Now to get the CDN link, you can go to React.js.org, and I'll attach this exact link to the lecture for you. And then all you need to do is copy these two script tags. One of these scripts is for the React core library, and the other one is React DOM, which is kind of like the glue between React and the browser. You need both of these for React to work. Also, the top CDN links are for development, but in production, if you're deploying your website to the web, you'd use the optimized production links instead. Anyway, for now, just grab the development versions and copy those. And then we need to paste those into our HTML file inside the head section at the top. There's also one more thing we need to add, a reference to the Babel library. Now, Babel is a compiler which allows us to use extra features in our JavaScript that browsers don't natively support. And it compiles those extra features into code that the browser does understand at runtime. So we'll need Babel to compile our React components later so that the browser understands them. So to get Babel, head to babeljs.io/setup and click on the first option right here in the browser. That's going to take you to a code snippet where we can grab the CDN link for Babel. So copy that. And you can see we also need to add this type attribute to our script tag, text/Babel. That's so Babel knows it needs to compile this particular script. So let's paste the CDN link in below the React ones in the head, and then we also need to create a script tag at the bottom of our page. This is where we're going to be making our React component later on. And then remember, we also need to add in the type attribute to the script tag and set it equal to text /Babel, so Babel knows to compile this script for us later. And now we're ready and all set up to use React in this web page.